This is Jeff Lichtenstein. You're watching JeffTV. So what is an as-is contract? In a housing sale in Florida, it's used about 90% of the time. There's another contract that's used other than the as-is, and I'll talk about that in a different segment. But the as-is contract is the most common use of a contract. Sellers think it's great when they hear as-is because they think they don't have to do anything. And in other states, that's the case. But the as-is contract really favors the buyer. The reason it favors the buyer is because the clause that's written in there. And buyer and the seller have to agree upon an inspection period. It's typically 10 days, although the standard is 15 days. But it reads, if buyer determines in buyer's sole discretion that the property is not acceptable to the buyer may terminate this contract by delivering written notice of such election to the seller prior to the expiration of the inspection period. If the buyer timely terminates the contract, the deposit shall be returned to the buyer. Thereupon, buyer and seller shall be released of all further obligations under this contract. The key word that's in here is sole discretion. So, buyer could go out and write 100 contracts tomorrow, full price offers on homes, have all 100 accepted, and then just give notice the next day that they're canceling. As long as it's within that agreed upon 10 or 15 day period, the buyer is out, and it's just at their sole discretion. The seller has no remedy to bring it back. So the buyer's deposit's refunded and the buyer's out of the contract. So it really gives the buyer a free reason, a free look-see at the house. They could put it under contract. If another home becomes available, they can cancel the contract and buy that other home. If they change their mind, they can change their mind. They also can try to renegotiate the contract during that time if they find results that are not so satisfactory in the inspection. So if you're a buyer, I recommend usually writing up the as-is contract and using it. And if you're a seller, just beware. What I do try to do on the selling side is at least limit the period down closer to 7 days if you can, because the lesser the period, the better the chance that the deal's not going to fall apart. This is Jeff Lichtenstein. You've just watched JeffTV.